Share a bit about Cambodia, your area of work as well. Poultry project, that's what I was seeing.
So there also we have, again, a similar model. So the in poultry.
Where in Cambodia, if you don't mind me asking?
So we are in several provinces.
Okay.
I'm not sure, like it's the
no worries.
are really
I totally
difficult
understand.
to,
I totally understand. We're in several provinces.
Yes, in several provinces, and one of the there also it's all native chicken, and there the presence of broilers is much lesser than in Nepal and
in India.
So the breed local breed that they have, that's what most of the Cambodians want. That blends in the palate.
Nice.
So there also we what we did was looked at intensifying the production system. So introduction of hatcheries in local birds and other natural feeding elements. Like there's a moss, it's called ajola. So massive plantations of ajola in water. So and we've also supported with the other interesting part of what we do with livestock is we prepare a cater of grassroots livestock technicians. We call them caves. Community aggregator entrepreneurs.
Okay.
It's a very interesting. It's a improved version of the village animal health worker model in Nepal.
Okay.
So we have added an enterprise element in that grassroots level caters. So that's also another element of how the services for the farmers becomes accessible.
And down the road, they could definitely turn into entrepreneurs and definitely do scale up their business as well.
It's not like so the more they scale their business, the more the farmers are going to thrive. So during the project, they're able to build that relationship and they are able to create demand for the market for the services, and it's a very interesting model, and that has worked. So that's a model that we promote across all the countries that we work, because these countries don't have service systems, grassroots service systems available for smaller farmers. So these caves become agents of change. They bring services to the doorsteps of farmers.
Nice.
And they make money of their own. They are thriving. If you look at caves in Nepal, women caves, it's unbelievable and unbelievably interesting. So even we have several migrant returnees taking up these cave jobs.
Nice. I really like it. There's a cross-border learning happening within Cambodia, India, Nepal. Obviously, I'm going to come to Korea now.
Cambodia, the other thing, we are also working on vegetable value chains, and water is a big issue there. And we are looking at solar energy. And electricity is very expensive, by the way, in Korea. So
in Cambodia?
In Cambodia. And then we are doing some work around their homegrown solar companies to use solar for irrigation and solar for other agri-energy requirements. The recent, very exciting project that we are just now doing some scouting work is around the coastal area. So I'm very excited about how that will turn out.
I want to touch base on Africa since you were there shortly, but let's wrap up Cambodia whenever you're ready.
So and again, like this, we are looking at working on the 4 provinces along the coastal area in an ecosystem-based approach. So we are looking at, that's a very important geography when it comes to environment. So we are looking at how the community themselves can partner in saving the environment plus getting benefit from there. So we are looking at what are the different economic activities that can happen, like coastal area tourism is something that is growing in Cambodia.
Yeah.
So we are just scouting that right now and talking with different Ministry of Environment and other players that has been there in the coastal belts in Cambodia. So I'm looking forward to learn a lot there, and also this ecosystem-based approach, apply ecosystem-based approaches in other ecosystems in different countries.
No, I really like it. And things in Korea that's happening that we could learn from, because as we talked earlier, they're definitely leap years ahead of.
Okay, so Korea, like if you closely look at how Korea has grown, it hasn't taken very long. They were just like us some 50 years ago. Okay, so in a lifetime of a person, it shows that that change can happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get amazed at when I hear stories from older people's stories, who have been a part of. We have seen Korean War, and the struggle that they lived, and where the country is right now. So interesting story of Korea is during the Korean War, Heifer had provided them support of animals.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned earlier, so they were like Heifer used to ship animals to these places where, when war happens, it's not only human beings, the entire livestock population also gets affected. So these were basically seed animals that were brought in Korea. So, and interestingly, what happened was Heifer had given cows back then. And if you want to, there's a very interesting, we've been able to track back the old records and videos of those time when the shipment happened. So it's very interesting to look at.
Hatching eggs for Korea in 1952. Go down, see more. That's go down. Oh, there you go. This is 200 goats to South Korea between 1952 to 1954. Interesting. Go down. Let's look at more things. That's cows, if I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Oh, interesting.
So these were the animals that were brought into Korea.
From the US.
From the US. So let me focus on the cows right now, okay? So once we started office in Korea, and then we started to track back, because that sentiment of Heifer supporting Korea, and then quietly moving away without making much of a noise and a fuss. And we started to track back who received actually the animals. And then we could actually track back some of the farmers who had received cows back then, which has become one of the topmost dairy industry, so we could track back that also. Then those were the stories that we started to tell people. And the Koreans, it's difficult to win trust of the Koreans, but once they trust, they're very emotional, and they're very, a sense of gratitude is very high among them. So then our Haven Lee is the executive director of our Korea operation there. She said, okay, this is an amazing story, so I want to go deeper. Then she did a campaign of 101 cows to Nepal. And the story was Heifer came and provided us help when we needed, and they quietly left. Now it's time to give back. So and Heifer has this amazing notion of what we call passing on the gift.
Yeah.
So nothing is free. Whatever we get, if we keep on giving to others that require, then that's how the change can happen.
Yeah.
So we said, this is an absolutely amazing story of passing on the gift. So that appeal was made to the Korean population. Okay, it's time to pass on the gift.
Pass on the gift of the cows.
So that's how we got
the
101 cows. And that was the time we were having conversation with our government on bringing breeding animals to Nepal.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
But again, bringing animals was, I would say, a nightmare. The logistics, I learned so much. Okay, the requirements. All government requirements of both Korea and Nepal. Korea never shipped animals anywhere. Ever.
This was the first time Korea shipped.
They had provided some animals to North Korea, but all the animals died. So they had a very bad experience about that. And when it comes to genetic material, usually the countries don't keep their genetic materials. If you are aware, India and Nepal, between Nepal, it's so difficult. India has a law that says genetic material from India cannot be sent anywhere. So you must have heard Murra Baisi. So it's people laughed, but that's nothing to laugh at, because that's a seed that came. Okay, if we can really take care and then grow, that is going to happen. That's what Korea did. Like these animals that came,
the seed came,
and then they flourished. Okay, so these animals have come to Nepal, and as I said earlier, like they're thriving very. I mean, there were a lot of challenges though, like, but eventually, what has happened right now, I would say that is a great success. That's when the lumpy skin disease outbroke. I mean, we had to go through everything, and it was quite.
So let's track back on this. Back in the 50s, the US passed it on to Korea, and then Korea passed it on to us a few years back.
Yes.
Very, very interesting.
Yes, and then the way heifer projects work is even within Nepal, the farmers that have got these cows, now there are new offsprings. So the passing on the gift says that you have to pass on the first offspring that you get.
Who are we going to give it away to?
So no, the other farmers in the
other farmers within.
So that's how the whole project is set up. So last year we celebrated 80th anniversary of heifer. So we had quite an interesting program in Sindhudi, where actually these farmers passed on, the farmers that got Korean cows passed on the offspring to their neighbors.
There you go.
So in the life left there, so she's our CEO, Surita, and we had provincial minister of agriculture, and the then DG of livestock, and we had our secretary and Korean technicians and farmers. So it was quite interesting.
Very interesting. All right. A big thank you to friends in Korea and friends in Heifer. It was started in 44 by, what's the gentleman's name?
Dan West.
There you go. And now it's been passed on, and someday we'll probably pass it on to somebody else.
That's what my hope has been. Then the moment this project was put together, one of my thing has been, okay, maybe like Korea did it. It took them 50 years. Okay, probably we can learn a lot from them, and it will not take 50 years to us, I hope. So
we'll pass it on faster.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that in my lifetime, I will see animals being passed on from Nepal.
We definitely will. Wow, this has been such a good learning curve. Thank you so much for your time. तपाईले हाम्रो क्लिप एकदमै एन्जॉय गर्नुभयो होला. अब पुरै भिडियो हेर्नको लागि चाहिँ YouTube मा सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला. Vyas Media Network.